All right. Hey, Sesame. Thank you so much for joining in on this tomfoolery. I literally am like, I just want to do haunted houses for October for the Halloween season, but also like put a spin on it for real estate. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I
I
love it.
think, yeah, I was like, why not? And then the house that we're doing today is actually on the market. So we'll talk about that. And yeah, I'm gonna put Sesame on the spot. She don't even know, but we're about to get into this. So do you want to talk about the story or I can? How do
It
you want to
doesn't
do
matter. However you want to present it, I'm here. I'm excited about us talking about this because I feel like it's definitely taking a different scope on real estate in general, right? And I think it's going to be really, really cool to give some people some insight on how we deal with these type of homes here in the state
it?
of Texas.
Yes. And so okay, we're both from Dallas, we're both Dallas girls.
Yes, both
How
Dallasites.
many times, because Hillsboro is right down the street from us.
Right. It's not far at all.
Like I remember, what is it, the outlet malls that are there? Like
Yep. Or
that's
I
how I
think they
know
closed
Hillsboro.
down. Did they
Oh,
close
see,
down?
I
I
don't know
think they
because that's
closed
how
down.
long. Yeah, that's how long I mean, I don't even know.
Now since I've been out here by Princeton, I mean Allen outlets. That's the only one I kind of attend. But I think the Hillsborough one closed down. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, see, well, and I'm like, that's the only way I knew what Hillsboro was
Same.
because of the outlet malls. So, anyways, we got this house
Yeah.
that is in Hillsboro. It is called the Tarlton House. And what I think is really cool about it is that I imagine, okay, so this guy marries, he has a whole family, his wife passes, he moves on to his second wife, and I can just hear her because I feel like I'll be this way. Oh, I'm not fixing to move into a house that was built for your deceased wife. I need to live in a house that is built for me.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
just
Well, actually, too, though, what was interesting about this is that I don't even know if she had the problem. It sounded like the kids had a problem with her.
that
And
is
so
right.
he was trying to ensure that he could satisfy both worlds. And so to me, the guy sounded like somebody who would do anything for whoever it is that he loves. And so he
Oh,
like built her own house. I was like,
yes.
yes, you better problem solve.
He's like, y'all don't like her, but I like her, so we're gonna put her right
Yeah.
here.
And I'm gonna keep her around. He said
Yes,
nothing is gonna get away of me and my new wife, kids and all. I'm
yes.
like,
Look, okay, so like clearly he had the land to be able to build a whole other house next to it. So like as a real estate agent, do you ever have clients that reach out to you uh for land to build multiple dwelling units or like for families or anything like that?
so as of right now, I haven't done too much commercial in land.
Uh,
However, I will tell you that one of the most requested things when people are
mm.
beginning to like decide, hey, I want to purchase real estate, we do have quite a few folks who are in the mind frame of buying land and being able to build at least 2 to 3 homes on it. A lot of
Yes,
people are starting to want their family around.
yes.
And people are wanting to start back farming. So it is definitely a thing. It is definitely
Farming.
something I'm researching more about. So I've
Yeah,
been talking, like with USDA representatives and stuff, so that when somebody does want to actually pull the trigger on that,
yeah,
I'm at least a little versed in it and can kind of guide them.
yeah.
Most people kind of get turned away, which we knew this Dr. Talton had it going on. Is when they realize they have to maybe bring their own utilities to that land.
I didn't even think about that. Like,
Hmm.
because it has to be like zoned for a certain
Yep.
like residential, right?
Yep. And you have to get somebody to come out and survey that to let you know that. And then you have to pull from those entities. So, like, if you want water, you need to talk to the city and see if they can do it. And if they can't, how are you going to get water? So, you have to
Yeah,
decide that. Electricity, they have to make sure they can be able to bring a line there.
yeah.
Gas, like all that type of stuff. So, it's
See,
almost like a la carte.
yeah, I didn't even think about that. I remember when I was younger, I used to always be like, we're gonna have a cul-de-sac one day, and we're all gonna live in this cul-de-sac with, like my mom and dad, my sister and her family, me,
Yeah.
like just in this thing. So when he built the house next door, I'm like, okay, I like it,
Yeah.
I approve. And I like your version. Your version's more sweet. Mine is like, what we not gonna do,
Look, the second wife knew where she came in. She was like, you know what? Y'all had this. I just want to be near you. And he was like, babe, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna be in your own house.
Yes, I love it. So it's a beautiful yellow house that he built.
Yeah.
And she passed away. So his first wife passed away from, I think they said pneumonia.
Well, the first wife is undisclosed. They don't know. The
Okay.
second wife, she died from pneumonia.
Yes. Okay. And then because he was heartbroken, they said he went back into the first house. So he didn't want to disrespect her house, went back into the first house.
Right.
Again, love, right? And he ended up hanging himself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's where the haunted aspect comes, is because, now he's died in this house.
Yeah.
So what I was confused on, maybe you can clarify, is that I was like, is it the yellow house that's haunted, or is it the main house that's haunted?
It's the main house that's haunted. But
Okay.
the main house was kind of yellow too. Like it was like
Okay.
different colors. It was like
Yeah.
some orange and some yellow. It was very bright.
Right. Yeah, so he hung himself. And so now the rumors are, is like they say that people will cross the street because they don't even want to walk in front of it. They're saying that that's what's helped it, because it was vacant for a lot of years, to where it didn't really get vandalized or have squatters and stuff like that. And then what else did they say? Oh, the hauntings, the different types of hauntings that they would hear
Mm-hmm.
is one of them was like voices,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I was like, can you imagine you're in one room and you're like,
Who is
who
that
is
talking?
here? And you go look and there's nobody there. Like, what? You know? Or the lady said that she was doing something, kneeling on the bed, doing something, and then she felt someone sit beside her. And and I'm like, and she thought it was her cats, and then her cats weren't even there, and she's like, wait a minute. And I thought that was like, I can't imagine you're like, "Mhm," and then all of a sudden you hear the creak, the bed depresses, and you're like, wait a minute.
Exactly. It's because I would have been. We got to
Right.
go.
Right. No, for real. Like when I see some of these movies, I'm like, and people are like, no, let's just stay. Let's just, we'll be fine. I'm like,
Yeah.
nope, that house would have been right back on the market. We bought
Yeah.
it. We lived in it for 2 weeks.
And we're about to be gone in 2 weeks.
Yeah, yes. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and move out now
Yeah.
while
This
we're
is
trying to sell it.
this is about to be the fastest turnaround you have ever seen.
Yes.
We
So
moving
imagine
faster
you're,
than a flipper.
yes. So okay, look, okay. So the house is on the market, guys. The house is on the market, and so I already told Sesame. I was like, look, if y'all want to buy this house, because we're gonna talk about it. But if you want to buy the house, Sesame will help you, and I don't know if she'll go to the showings.
I'm gonna find a representative to go and meet you now.
I'm gonna wait outside while you walk through.
Yes. And I'm gonna be across the street like the rest of the people.
So like, okay, but like, what would you do? So now you know that there's this haunted house, right? And whether
Mhm.
it's the house that's for sale or the main house, I'm not sure. But you know this, and so let's say we have a person that's watching this. They're like, I wouldn't mind living in a house that's like that. Like it sounds kind
Yeah.
of cool. They come to you. They're like, all right, I want to buy it. Well, I want you to take me on a tour of the house, and then I want to buy it. What are some of the things you're thinking? Have you even looked at it? Have you looked at it online or
Yeah.
anything? Have you seen? I quickly did. So I don't know
Yeah.
the state of the house, but like
Me too.
tell us a little bit. Like as a realtor professional, what's your perspective of the house?
Okay.
Yeah.
So just looking at it, we already see that it's unfinished. And what I did realize about this house, I said it doesn't matter if your house is haunted or not. The market is the market, right? And so a lot of sellers, what they have been experiencing is the price drops. Okay.
Yes.
We have a lot of sellers who are not absolutely happy about that, but it's not necessarily the deal breaker. I tell people all the time, if a seller is selling in this current market, they're doing it because they need to, right?
Mm,
So now that we know that they have a need, then we need to figure out what is their motivation for selling this house. And
yeah.
honestly, I don't think the motivation is because the house is haunted. So we
No.
can't use that, right?
Right.
But what we can do is me talking with the agent, figuring out what it is that you guys are looking for and
Hmm.
benefiting from when getting ready to sell this house, right?
Yeah.
It could be timing, it could be, hey, right now we feel like we're in the best equity position. It could be, hey, we can't handle, because right now the house is unfinished. I'm wondering if the person just couldn't handle the repairs.
Mm,
And so that would be something that would come up because depending on who my buyer is, it would
yeah.
determine what type of loan we could get, right?
Right. Right.
And I know you said about somebody coming to see the house. Well, they wouldn't be able to see it unless they was pre-approved by Angela. So you got to get your pre-approval first.
That part. That part. You know.
And once we realize you are pre-approved and you are in a great position to be able to even purchase said property, well, then I would be talking with Angela. So literally, I would send this home over. I would have her review it, and then she could see the state of the house, and then we would go from there to determine, hey, what is the best suitable loan for them if they're not paying cash or just whatever.
Yeah.
What's the best suitable loan for them to be able to obtain this property? So
Yeah.
really just finding out, the loan type, like figuring out what we can do, how can we purchase, making sure we can do it. And
Right.
once we solidify our plan, then it's going in speaking with that agent and we're finding out what is the motivation. And then from there we can determine if we need to offer a little less, or if we're okay with the pricing, what should we be asking or negotiating for
Yeah.
during this deal? Because we may can get them to finish the repairs if we're able to. Let's say they want to close as soon as possible. They've already been sitting on the market for, I
Yeah.
know, at least 100 days, like 159 days, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, we just want out. And I'm like, okay, well, if y'all want out, Angela can close us in about 18 days. So
Listen.
if y'all go
Listen.
ahead and fix X, Y, and Z, that will ensure that we can secure this loan. And
Yeah.
then boom, we can get it closed and we can get you out of here as soon as possible. Or at least get this property off your hands. Cause I feel like it's vacant. It's
Yeah.
definitely not in livable condition. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so it's interesting because the house I have a bunch of thoughts going on because I actually know a person who knows the person. That's how I even found out that it was on sale.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were living in it at one point, and then they relocated. So that's why it's
Mm-hmm.
for sale.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, if it's unfinished, were they making repairs to put it on the market, or did they just live in the area that was finished? Now I have questions, and I'm going to go back and be like, hey, I have questions. Like,
Right, right. And that's
you
why I'm
know,
talking with the agent trying to find
yeah.
out what it is that was actually going on with this house. Because one thing I did also see that I feel like would be beneficial to my buyer, depending on what they want to do with the property. It used to be a B&B, like used to be a bed and breakfast.
Oh, neat.
And
Oh,
people
that's really neat.
maximized on the opportunity to be able to vacation in like a haunted house. Because some people
Yes.
look for a thrill.
Yes. Yes.
Right? So
I
like it's
think, yeah.
entertainment, it can be a money maker. So I think
Right.
if you come in with an open mind, and I mean, of course, if my buyer has seen this and we're talking about it, then I know that they have an open mind, right? So yeah, I'm like you, I would be trying to figure out like, okay, well, hey, from the time that it was a bed and breakfast to now,
Yeah.
what happened. I didn't get a chance to figure out if maybe the lady who was running the bed and breakfast passed away or something.
Mm.
And I'm not sure if the people who have it on the market now are her family.
Oh,
Yeah.
look, I'm
But
like, me
just
neither.
even figuring that too. Yeah.
So if the house was finished, it would actually be a house that would qualify for USDA.
What? Even though it's like downtown?
0% down. I checked. I was like, let me see if it's USDA eligible, and it is. So it's like zero
Yeah.
down. It would be perfect for someone to purchase, right?
Yeah, no,
Like
absolutely.
if it
And
was
then
finished.
realizing that they're coming to the table with zero down. And then, like I said, me putting on the negotiating skills and
Listen,
getting that closing somewhat covered. That this could be definitely a great opportunity for, like you said, even if the house was finished,
yeah,
I feel like you're saving money by having zero down. So therefore you'll have a little bit in your pocket where if you want to make certain updates or repairs,
yeah,
minimal repairs, you can do that.
Right.
and really
Yeah.
make this house yours.
Yeah. And the fact that, like, I didn't even know the other part. The fact that it was an Airbnb,
Hmm.
that's
Yep, it was
actually
a bed
really
and
cool.
breakfast. Yep, it was a bed
That's
and breakfast.
actually really
I
cool.
think the only floor they didn't use was that third floor where he actually hung himself.
Oh, it makes sense.
But the people who worked there, like
Yeah.
they said that they would have slight encounters. But I will say this too, another way to kind of hype this property up, like with it being unfinished, if I was the agent, I would just be like, hey, all it needs is a fresh coat of paint, because we all know that once you repaint a house, it's supposed to make the spirits unfamiliar with the home.
Mm.
So you got less likely chance of
See?
even experiencing it if that's not your jam.
Right, right. I like that.
Hmm.
I'm like, and
Yeah.
that's
So
why,
once you rearrange and put some more furniture in here and you
and that's
paint,
why
they gonna
Sesame
be
is great at what
confused.
she does. Let me just
Yeah.
throw that. That's why she's great at what she does, because she be on there. She be thinking. You know what I mean?
Look. Listen, we can make this a win-win for everybody.
Yes, yes. Right. So it's like, if that's not your thing, fresh coat of paint, now you're good.
Yep.
We
Yep.
hope.
And you know what? Listen, I don't know how true it is, but I will say this. I just kind of want to throw this in here real quick. So growing up in Dallas, my grandfather purchased a duplex, right? And
Hmm.
so when purchasing this duplex, at one point it belonged to like this other family or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was said that I don't know what happened with the husband and wife, but eventually the husband ended up living alone, and he supposedly like died in the home. And
Okay.
so when they first got the duplex, we had somebody. No, this is before they had somebody living on one side. They purchased the entire duplex, and so at one point before they rented it out, it was said that my grandmother would see the guy like sitting in a chair. And she would
Mm.
be like, "Oh my God, just leave me alone. Like, just leave me alone." But she was the only person who would see him.
Yeah.
She would either see him like in the attic or she would see him in the living room. And she said he never like talked or anything. She just saw him like sitting in a chair. And they learned about the whole painting the house and rearranging it.
Oh wow.
So they ended up painting the house.
Yeah.
She ended up like switching up how the house was. So like
Yeah.
where our living room was at one point, it used to be a L-shaped porch on one side.
Mm.
So
Okay.
they enclosed the porch to
Right.
make that a living space. They switched where the kitchen was. So
Okay.
like literally did like a full on like remodel. And because she was told that if you can confuse them, then they will not return. And she said once she
That's
made those
cool.
updates
That's
and
really
those
cool.
changes, they never saw this person again. And then they end up working
Wow.
on the other side, kind
Yeah.
of switching that side up, and then they end up renting it out. Now, once I came along, by that time, they had actually turned the duplex into just one whole house. And
Okay.
so I grew up there, but I never experienced anything. But she used to tell me. And I was like, oh my God, what? And she said for a while, she was just like, how do we get rid of this man? Like, I'm so tired of seeing him. And
Yeah,
I be
I would
trying to tell
literally be
my
like,
grandpa. Yeah. And she was like, but once they painted, and she said, when they told me you need to rearrange furniture, she was like, no, I'm gonna rearrange the house. We gonna
right.
remodel.
Well, speaking of rearranging the house or finishing it, there are renovation loans
Oh,
products
yes.
for people if you want to buy a house and it's unfinished, or if you want to rearrange and be like, you know what, let's switch some stuff around. Great product to where you can still buy the house that you want. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm
And
just
I'm telling
saying,
you, add
the
that
dynamic
fresh
duo
coat of
right here.
paint. Yes,
Yeah. Yes.
listen,
Fresh
nothing
coat of
is
paint.
off limits. Nothing
Look,
is off limits. We can make some work.
we can make it work. If you want the house, hit us up. We're gonna tell you.
Yes, and I
So
think it's a grand opportunity. I mean, you're still in a historic area, so you're in downtown Hillsborough. Just having the easy access to all the things
yeah,
that Hillsborough does offer. You won't be too far from the post office.
right.
You won't
Not
be
too
too
far
far
from
from the
Dallas.
courthouse. Yeah. And
Look.
yeah, still not too far from Dallas, but I do believe that it's a grand opportunity. And like I said,
Hmm.
especially if I was anyone and I had to buy it, I would try to start it back up, do the bed and breakfast.
Yeah, that's huge. Look, I'm like, let me go look into this house.
Hmm.
Let me go
Look,
estimate what these payments might look like.
And look, they have it listed right now, I think in the high twos. But we
Yeah.
may could talk them down.
I'm like, I saw that price and I was like, 299. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Especially where it started from. But like I said, when I saw that price drop, I was like, oh, okay, so it doesn't matter what house you have. The market is the market right now in this
Yeah.
Dallas, Fort Worth kind of surrounding areas.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all sellers with all type of homes are experiencing
Yeah.
at least one price drop.
Right. Right. Haunted or not, you
Yeah.
know? Um, okay, cool. So I wanted to say, I want to give you opportunity to kind of talk about yourself, let the
Okay.
people know who you are,
Okay.
tell us, well, I already know why you're so great because you'd be like killing it for your clients. But, if you were to talk to a client and you're like, hey, you don't really toot your own horn though, but I'm going to let it say toot it. Toot,
Yeah.
toot.
Yeah. Well, no, Angela, first of all, I definitely appreciate the opportunity. And I was so happy when you asked to speak with me. I feel like our personalities are kind of similar. We're both like super goofy, but we can be like super serious when we need to be.
Yeah.
But I think that's the joy of being in real estate, right? And so one thing I do pride myself on is just being able to bring like that joy. I want people to experience what I experienced when I bought a house, not necessarily working without a realtor because I know what that was like buying a house
Yeah.
without one, but having someone who is knowledgeable, somebody who's going to educate and advocate for you, negotiate on your behalf, which I lacked, but then
Yeah.
also to bringing in that encouragement. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that I absolutely pride myself on. So, like Angela said, I'm Sesame, just like Sesame Seed. I am from Dallas. I do currently live in a suburb outside of Dallas that's north, kind of like on your way to Oklahoma. I'm in Princeton, Texas. I am a wife, and we do have three girls. Well, actually, we have four girls total. And so if I'm not doing real estate, we are doing something sports related with them, running around. But even with that, we still make it all work, right? I try
Yeah.
to bring in the family and the real estate all together. And so that's the one thing that most people will also learn about me too, is that like, okay, she's serious about being a mom, but I'm also very, very serious about my clients.
Yeah.
I am a part of a real estate team called the RL Realty Group. We are with the Real Brokerage. I've been with that team for the last 2 years now. And so we are one of the top producing teams in the DFW area. So
Mm-hmm.
super excited about being with some, some great people who hold
Yeah.
some great knowledge. And out here being able to show the proof of it, like with the numbers.
Yeah. Well, so I want to ask you a question because something you said made me think about it.
Okay.
You said that when you bought your first house, you didn't have representation. So,
Mm.
what was that like not having real estate, a realtor professional helping? Um, and then, what would your advice be to people as to why they should get a realtor? I know people are like, oh, I can do it by myself, but like,
Right.
tell me.
Okay. So when we purchased, we literally purchased out of urgency. I was pregnant with our third child. I was at the time living with my mother-in-law, so space was getting very limited. We had
Mm,
already done the apartment thing, and it was literally like, what else can we do? We got to buy a
right.
house, right? And
Yeah.
so we literally saw one home. We talked with the builder. The builder told us, oh, hey, you're going to have your house for this much a month, and you're going to get zero down, and you're going to have this and that. And we were just like, okay, this sounds perfect. We get under contract. We find out that we no longer qualify for zero down because our credit scores went up towards the end. So we had to hustle and try to find out how to get 3.5% of what we were buying the house for.
Wow. Yeah.
We also did not have a good understanding about unimproved and improved land. So we
Yeah.
learned the hard way. Our mortgage went up within a year, $900. So the
Yes.
house that we were excited about paying 1,900 and then homestead kicked in, went down to 15. We are now paying 24.54.
Mm,
And we were just like, how do you do that? When also I end up losing my job 1 year to the date of me having a house.
mm,
And so we didn't have anybody to really call on. Like when we
yeah.
had these questions, the builder was no longer available. Their office had moved. Our loan was sold. We even know what that meant at first. Like what? Like loan is sold, so you don't have the lender that you can go back and talk to. We
Right.
did not shop our loan. So we didn't even know that there was an opportunity for us to potentially find someone who could offer maybe a better rate. We didn't
Right.
even know what the interest rate,
Yeah.
how it affected your mortgage payment. we just the builder
Yeah.
literally was like, "Hey, your mortgage is gonna be 1,900. Does that sound good? All you gotta do is put $1,000 in." I'm like, "Okay, well, I
It
got
sounds
$1,000."
amazing. Right.
Sounded very simple. When we went
That's
through
crazy.
our buying process, we never got an inspection on our house.
Oh no.
There are so many things that we looked over, we did not ask for, we did not question. And by the time you even think about it, you're like, oh my God, I can't contact the builder no more because apparently this is out of warranty and we didn't even know how that
Yeah.
worked. So there was so many things that we just did not know that we did not know
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
I became a real estate agent. And I
Yeah.
go, man, we really messed up. We really messed up. And so I say that to say, even when I'm talking with my clients, I'm like, yeah, you could absolutely buy a house alone. I've done it. But we definitely lack the representation.
Yeah.
The builder definitely took advantage of us. And we just didn't even allow ourselves to see if there was like more options. The
Right.
house that we purchased was good for us at the time.
Yeah.
A realtor can also help you see the future. Hey, you're about to
Yeah.
have 3 kids, and these kids are going to grow up. So now, in the space that
Mm,
we're in where we feel overcrowded, we potentially could have looked at some bigger homes,
right.
see if it was something in the price range or had them negotiate for us to see if we could get it in the price range that we needed, but we just
Right.
did not know that that was an option. And so for me, I just feel like it's even as simple as getting your hair done.
Yeah.
I know how to wash my hair. I pretty much, for the most part, know how to detangle. I know how to put myself under the dryer. But when it comes to wrapping my hair,
Yeah.
it just seems like the way that I'm straightening is not bone straight like
Right.
that
Right.
beautician does, right?
Right.
And so even though I could do this on my own, when I go to the beauty shop, my hair is a lot silkier, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
even though I know how to wash my hair, they can tell me the better products for my hair because I may
Mm.
not understand actual texture. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they're there like to enhance what you already have. That's
Yeah.
how your realtor does for you. Yes, I want you to buy a
I
house, it's
love that.
fine, but I want it to be purposeful. I
Yeah.
want to make sure that my clients are able to walk away from the deal and they can
Yeah.
explain to someone else how they bought their home.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to when I'm educating you, not trying, when I'm educating you, I'm literally doing it for the purpose of so that you have gained new knowledge and you're
Yeah.
able to tell the people around you.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that.
So
And
everything
the
that
way you,
I talk about what I missed out on and what I lacked. And I mean, I learned from it. And then that's just me becoming a real estate agent. But how many people do you know, Angela, that you talk to who actually are homeowners and they have no clue
yeah.
who they bought their house with? They're like, I can't
Right.
remember the name. I can't
Yeah.
remember the lender. When you ask them, so what's your current interest rate? How long have you been paying on this? Have you ever refinanced before? A lot of them don't even understand the terms.
Yeah.
Some of them say they haven't done something, and you look and you're like, well, it looked like y'all did refinance. Did you not remember that? Oh. And
Is
so
that what
that's
that
another
was?
thing too. Yeah, but that's another thing too. We work with specific lenders. I tell my folks all the time, I have a relationship with them. I'm
Yeah.
not going to send you to someone who's not going to mimic how I want to treat you. So
Yeah.
even when you're working with somebody, they get the full experience because you're like, hey, I'm checking in too. You
Yeah.
follow up with your clients too.
Yeah.
And I want them to feel like they have that true support beyond the closing table.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's interesting because you were talking about your experience and I had the exact same experience. I feel like and then so the realtor that helped purchase the first home, it felt like a whirlwind. Like no guidance. They just got the signed contract and then that was kind of like moved on. And the lender I was working with was just because this is before my loan officer days, it was just like we need this, and it just felt like a no explanation, no nothing, no
yep.
relationship, signing away my life, and then it's like, all right, I'm done, and I'm like, that kind of sucked. I mean, I'm grateful, but that sucked,
Yeah.
And so, and I feel like that's my motivation because when I'm taking people through the loan process, I don't care how many questions they ask. I'm like, I want you to understand. Like, ask me the question, like, especially because clients, I feel like, will attached to the realtor because they built a really good relationship with you, right?
Mhm, mhm,
And so they're going to come to you and be like, "Hey, Angela sent me something, but I don't understand why." And it's like, so I'm like, "Hey, come to me. Like,
mhm.
you can come to me. You can bother me. Ask me the questions because I really want you to understand, why we're going through this process, what the next steps are, all that because of my past experience." So it's funny that your experience is like, now this is how I want it to be. And then my experience is like, this is why I'm the way I am. It's because I want to make sure people don't have that experience,
Yep,
So it's
yep.
funny that I like that. But
It's like you can
um
do it alone, but why do I want to go around and my hair gonna be puffy in the next 2 hours when I could just be super smooth at least for a week? I mean, that's how I feel. I mean, you pay for because a lot of times people too, we'll just throw this little tidbit in here.
yeah,
Folks feel like a realtor is free.
yeah,
And we have to use the term, you are hiring me for a service. You really
right,
are.
yeah,
And when people are like, well, I could just go do this by myself, I could talk to the builder, that's fine. But that builder is not going to remind you that you can actually do a third party inspection on their said property.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
not going to remind you that, hey, in the next 2 years, your mortgage is probably going to fluctuate and it's going to be due to property taxes. Here is why. When they did this development, this is
yeah,
considered an improved land. You don't have anybody explaining that. And so even when I'm working with my people, I'm like, look, whatever I don't know, especially if it's a finance type question, we're going to ask Angela. Before they get on the phone with you, I tell everybody, please make sure you are asking the questions that you need to ask when speaking with Angela. Do
yeah,
not wait because I'm just gonna go back to her and ask her.
right,
Like,
right,
I am. Now there are some things that I'm able to pick up on because we've done it
yeah,
repeatedly, and so I'm like,
yeah,
oh, okay, I can kind of answer this. But I tell people all the time, I am no loan expert. Okay,
yeah,
that is not my field. My
yep,
field is to make sure that I'm getting you in the home that's going to serve its purpose based off of what you told me that you need and or want, and to
yeah,
make sure that it's within budget. Okay.
yeah,
When it comes, like, sometimes people come to us and they're like, well, I gotta have a first time home buyer program. That is just a fancy word for down payment assistance. Okay.
yeah, yes, yes,
That's one thing I can tell you that I learned. And it's not to take away, like, oh hey, you can get help, but
yeah,
just really reconstructing people's mindset
yeah,
on how they look at purchasing a home. And
yeah,
what I really had to realize was that I'm now an investor. Nobody may not be renting this place from me, but this house, this is my investment.
yeah, yes,
So we put money into it so it can give us a great return. And
yeah,
now I think ahead of what I do now, how can that benefit me in a couple years when I get ready to sell?
right,
And then I get
yeah,
ready to buy the next property.
right.
So, buying a house is so much more than just, hey, we took a picture with a soul sign and we
We got
moved
a
all our stuff in
home.
here.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
I'm
Well,
like,
and
y'all,
then
it's
I
so
think
much
about all
deeper.
the stuff that people don't realize. I remember having one client where they they don't see all the behind the scenes work. So I remember them being like, "Hey, have you even reached out to the title company?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we reached out to them a week ago. A day after that, we called, we've emailed, we've done all these different things." And they're like, "Oh, I didn't know." And I'm like, well, you wouldn't know, right? My job
Yeah.
is to just get it done, right?
Yep.
Like that's my job. It's not to tell you we've reached out because you don't want me to tell you every time I've reached out to the title company or whatever, right? Like nobody wants that information. So if I can just tell you we're right on track, these are the things that you need to provide, that's going to
Yeah.
help your experience versus like knowing every piece of it,
Yeah.
and so it's we do so much on the back end that people don't see. And then like you said, all they see the sign closed, and it's like
Yeah.
you did close, and now you see, well, no, you don't see, but we do a bunch. Like there's a bunch back there that you're never going to see, but we get it done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I actually try to be as transparent as I can with my people.
Yeah,
So when they do have questions, I'm like, oh yeah, so when we're getting ready to look up insurance, like your loan officer could potentially help you with that if you need the help, but you gotta speak up. And then this is how they figure it out. And if they can't do it, I do it. Oh, when it comes to title, guess what? They have documents that they need to send over, and then it's probably gonna take about this amount of days. And they're probably going to ask the title company this, but just be on the safe side, I'll check for you, or
Yeah.
I'll reiterate. So
Yeah.
we do try to work on like over communicating with our people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it seems helpful because again, I want them to feel as involved in the process as they can.
Yeah.
And so I tell people all the time, if you haven't heard from Angela today, that's great. You know why? Because that means nothing is going on wrong.
Right.
You've done all the things that you need to do. They're like, I haven't
Yeah.
talked. It's okay. Don't worry about that. Like, if we got an emergency, if she call you, we don't forgot something.
Yeah. No news is good news.
Yes, no news is good news. Don't go searching for it. Okay, no.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Is there any last
Yay.
if you were to give anybody advice aside from working with a realtor, what would you say for the home buying process? And then we'll end out on that.
I would say just do it. A lot of times people will give themselves their no,
Yeah.
and they will say what they should do or what they want to do, and they don't actually just do it. Because what I have realized is that a lot of people are afraid of the no. And I
Yeah.
tell people it's never no, it's just not right now. If
Yeah.
you know you want to buy a house and you speak with Angela and she's saying, well, hey, we still need to do, they're like, man, I knew I couldn't buy a house. No, 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 no. It's not right now.
Yeah.
And your job is to ask her, hey, so what do I need to do next?
Yeah. I love that.
What do I need to do next?
Just do it. I always tell people, I'm like, the best way for you to get to a goal is for you to, well, one, you may be surprised and you're ready to go right now.
Mhm.
Or two, you walk away with a plan. Both are still steps forwards.
Yeah.
So that's it. But
Yeah.
thank you
Just
for
got to
your
do it.
time.
Yes. Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for your
having me,
time. Yes.
Angela.
I appreciate it. And then if you guys, again, if you want to buy a house, Sesame is available. If you want to buy that house, she's also available. If you're selling, she's also available. I mean, just anything real estate, go to her.
Yes, 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 yes. I cannot wait. I can't wait till all the new people we meet.
Yes. All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye bye.